once we find our nationality and serve that nationality, we'll do for ourselves what needs to be done.
Keep thinking it's games, you already know these beasts kill you on camera, leave you niggas dead in the streets. You're still handcuffed and bloody, but no 911 calls. Bystander effect in full effect, soul watching with y'all, mind blowing. Watching my people holding up traffic of innocent people. My people need to get their ass kicked. Marching and picketing is most cowardice and punkified, while dead bodies just multiply. Sisters killed in their cell, you claim it's hell. You raised and burned down your own community, not one police station. You love pork chops, but I see no police bacon. And when it comes to revolution, most of y'all are faking.
All ethnic groups in this country understand they got a nationality, because you answer to such stupid words like
Black lives don't matter, but you still claim black. Rather film someone get choked out but won't choke back. And the one that uploads first face charges trumped up. What you think will happen when President Trump's up? More killing and murders of stateless herds. Hoods are concentration camps now, ghettos are burbs. Gun stores short on ammo, they're melting down church bells. Blacks seek shelter in temples where God doesn't dwell. That's why a foreigner can walk in and shoot up your service. Praying to invisible gods, give you the curses. You pray to relinquish, that's none of my business. I suggest you nationalize with the quickness. I suggest you study law, stop with the bitch shit. In your face I see them spray the pepperish liquid, then pouring white milk on your face. I thought that milk was the devil. Some weapons drown the noise level, poise you rebel.
because you answer to such stupid words like Negro and color and black. You have
The point that I'm making, blacks are mistaken. Call them highwaymen, not cracker pigs or bacon. Taking your tax dollars and riot gear, they relaxing. Cause in a black status, don't even think about a class action. Don't even think about rights being respected without getting injected. I see you infected. Then the same ones that violate the laws you re-elected. Your vote matters more than black lives, feel disrespected. Control the Negroes, looks tested and perfected. That's why about being black I'm skeptic and left it. My people are tripping, walking with arms like panthers who got nowhere in the 60s, so that's not the answer. And black leader, race war instigator puppets teach kill those who killed us as justice. But have they ever killed? I think not. If they did, it's hearsay, nobody to show. Yellow envelope, money in escrow, accounts overseas, not in democracies, living hypocrisies. It's all de jure mockeries, bureaucracies, vampiric, but most can't hear it. It's only the attitude, the regalia is not clan spirit. Until my people wake up, your struggle for rights continue, and your children's organs end up on the elite menu. You love text but delete the messages more send you with no status. You're in the jurisdiction and venue of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of their feet. Of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of your feet.
the name of a people must relate them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. And anytime you call a people by their right name, anytime you call a people, name a people, and fail to relate them back to land, history, and culture, you have called them out of their name. There's no black man or black holder. There's nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong with it at all. Only it doesn't relate to a country. The name of every people in the world relate to country. And once you think instantaneously of land, you think of nationality.
Islam to all the Moors, peace and love. Islam to all the Moors worldwide, and the 5 Moors online right now that don't do black time, always on time. Islam. We're here today doing our usual Tuesday Canaanland Moors class. Excuse the honking guy outside, I'm not sure what's up with him. We got, like I was saying earlier, we got special guest today to intro class. Before we go there, we just wanted to put on the record some some books that you should probably consider getting. The first book that you should consider getting is The Dark Skull, 418, the world's most dangerous comic book, created, drawn, and written by our good brother and one of our master teachers, Asir the Duke of Tears. So make sure you go check that out. You know what I mean? You can see it's a heavyweight book, right? It's not small time. The second one we got to put out is First World Order by another one of our master teachers, Brother Alim El Bey. You know, and as you can see, he has his BA, ADD, ADD, RMT, GS, GHP, and all the other stuff to qualify him to put out some literature, right? And again, once again, you know what I mean? We got good sized book for the Moors, written by another fellow Moorish American. Also, the book I don't have, we got to put out there, Pleasant Bay and Exhuming of a Nation. It's another good sized book, and now we have another one to add to the pile. And the book that we're adding to the pile, or we're going to talk about today, is Moors and Masonry by another one of our master teachers, Brother Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey. Now, for those who don't know, this has been a book that's been supposed to come out a long time ago, and you know, the information is just so extensive that the book couldn't come out before it was supposed to come out. So it's available now, Moors and Masonry. Make sure you pick it up, show support, and we are gonna intro our class with the good brother, Brother Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey. Islam, more.
Islam.
Islam. How are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing well.
That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Before we get into some questions and stuff like that, how about just let us know, you know, what to expect with the Moors and Masonry book that you just put out.
What to expect is a lot of references. I missed over 100 books, references from the National Archives, State Records, England and France and the Netherlands. I have treaties, listing of treaties between Morocco and France, Morocco and the Netherlands, Morocco and England. I have actual whole treaties between Morocco and England. The treaties that I have between Morocco and France and Morocco and the Netherlands are, the treaties between Morocco and France are in French. Treaties between Morocco and Netherlands are Dutch. So I couldn't find someone to translate them for me, so I didn't put those in the book. I do have about 5 or 6 treaties between Morocco and England, the whole treaty. I wanted this to be a very great resource book, loaded with references, quotes from many books. So I'm very, I put a lot of work into this. I wanted this to be a book whereby people can get this book and do further research, or take materials from the book and do lessons and write their own book. They can write booklets, articles.
Right.
So that's why I provided a lot of sources in here. They can go get these books. The books that I list, people can go purchase books. These books.
Islam. Now,
right. I think this is one of the that I haven't seen a book like this, and I'm not saying it because I wrote it. I'm saying it because I haven't seen it. I mean, I haven't seen a book like this as far as references.
Right.
A book with full of references and sources. And that's what I wanted to provide for our people.
Well, that's one of the questions I was going to ask you with regard to the extensive bibliography of this book.
I was going through the bibliography. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got about 6 pages. About 6 pages, 6-page bibliography. Where did you get the time to read all these? And is there anything in the bibliography that people should put focus on with regard to titles?
What I did was I came across these books by surfing the internet by topic, and I would find some books, and then I would study the bibliographies of other books. And what I did was I would peruse certain areas of various books and to find key points to pull out, to put in the book. I would read maybe 40 pages in one book, 100 pages in another book, 30 so pages in another book. I would skim. I learned how to peruse and skim and scan, and a lot of reading about it. But this extensive bibliography, it will allow other people to purchase these books and to assist me into further research.
Right.
I didn't want to go to my grave without having seen this.
Most definite. Now, with regard to well, actually, before we do that, could you speak on the importance of studious Moors taking the example of Noble Drew Ali and producing literature? Like, what does it mean for the world for Moors to do, like, what yourself has done, myself, RV Bey Publications, Khalifa Media, Brother Aleem, Brother Asir, Hakeem Bey, the literature aspect of the Moorish movement? How important is that with regard to Moors themselves?
It's very important. What literature does, it creates one thought, one focus, one aim. It leaves a legacy. It sets a tone, a focal point for if the book has to be marketed and distributed. We can't. There's no need. We write books, but we have to market and distribute it. The same amount of time and energy that I put in marketing to writing this book, I have to put in marketing and distributing the book as well. I got to get it out. I have to market it.
Right.
All right. So that's key. This is where you and others come in. This is why I'm doing this show. Now, this book here, Moors and Masonry, because it has so many sources, it will allow others to. I think it's going to inspire others to write because of the amount of sources that I provide. The sources are organized so that people don't have to spend the time, the same amount of time that it took me to find it. They don't have to have it. They have it at their fingertips.
Right.
You got to keep in mind, I had to compile all this. You're talking about, years of material I would find and compile it to one book. So it makes it easier. It's like I said, it's a legacy. It makes it easier for others, somebody like yourself, Joe, to take material in the book, right, and produce an article.
Right.
You can focus on one point in the book. For example, you can focus on the Imperial Divan. You can focus on areas of our people, the tribute. You can focus on areas of ransom payments made to us. So you can just do an article on that. And I have materials here, like I said, the sources are there to provide that. And that was my thinking all along. And that's why I put the treaties in the book, so people could actually read the treaties in their entirety.
Right. Now, when I I'm just I didn't even get to the front or the start of the book yet. I just hit just skimming through it right now. I just hit the page, Moors and Masonry, Abdullah Bey illustrations and all that. Prior to that, you have 2 pages dedicated or livicated to the United States European occupational colonial power, misrepresenting as the imperial divan of the Moorish government. Could you speak on current President Trump taking the seat of what you call in the book the Moorish Palace, which people call the White House?
Yes. All right. One of the questions that was posed to me back in, I was on this radio show. The question that was posed to me was, I think it was in July or August. How does this election, and at that time, I said August, and that time was the election, they was doing the primary.
Right.
How does this election, at that time, the primary had already ended. You already had the Republican and Democratic convention. How does this election relate to the Moors? And I said to them, my response, it has everything to do with the Moors. That either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, at that time we didn't know who would become president.
Right.
Either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump will be elected to the office of the Moorish Grand Vizier. Now, we must be very clear when we say United States. We must provide clarity, because the problem is that when people hear United States, they're thinking the seats too. They're thinking the government.
Right.
They're thinking the seats, the office. They're calling the Oval Office the United States office. That's the Moorish office. It's not. Donald Trump was not elected to any United States office. He was not elected to the United States office. He was elected to the Moorish office. He was elected to the office of the Moorish Grand Vizier. The structure that the Europeans are operating today was something that we set up. This structure has been in place for a couple thousand years. You have the Pure Divan, the Shriners, the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystic Shrine, used the title Imperial Divan as the structure of their organization. And you'll see in treaties that I have in the book, the word divan is referenced in treaties. I'm looking for one of the references to is D-I-V-A-N, and the ancient Arabic order of the Noble Mystic Shrine uses that title, and the divan is actually the divan is the Europeans substituted the presidential cabinet, substituted the Imperial divan with presidential cabinet. So the Imperial divan is the structure is there. But the issue is an occupying power called the United States is functioning the Moorish government in a trusteeship capacity. That same structure we put in place, they did not. They just simply substituted. So you have the presidential cabinet, which is the Imperial divan, and the head of the Imperial divan is the Grand Vizier. So Donald Trump is functioning as the Grand Vizier. But they don't use that title, they use the title president. And he has his viziers, right, that he calls secretary, or so they substituted vizier, W-I-Z-I-R, V-I-Z-I-R, V-I-Z-I-E-R, variation, Persian, Arabic. So we use vizier, they now use secretary. The same structure, family, same structure.
No, no. No, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
All right, so this is actually shown at the beginning of the book, and also within the title book, the same outline. At the beginning, in the book, you'll see that I have what they call the presidential cabinet. I have here the Moorish Palace, White House, a pure divan, and below that, the presidential cabinet. I have the Agriculture Department, Commerce Department, Defense Department, Energy Department, Education Department, Health and Human Services Department, Homeland Security Department, Housing and Urban Development Department, Interior Department, Justice Department, Labor Department, State Department, Transportation Department, Treasury Department, Veteran Affairs Department. So the structure was already in place. So they're functioning our government as trustees in a trusteeship capacity. So Donald Trump is sitting and functioning the office of the Moorish Grand Vizier. We constantly have to make this connection. We just can't say United States, constantly United States, the United States, the United States, the United States. You got to keep in mind, my brothers and sisters, millions of our people think that the government, that the seat is the United States. So you've got to clarify that. So when you say United States, clarify that it's still, they're taking the seats. There, Donald Trump, he was elected to the seat of the United States. No, he was elected to the seat of the Moorish government, the seat of the Moorish Grand Vizier. Donald Trump is the United States representative. We have the United States representatives that we were watching C-SPAN, and we were watching, they had Capitol Hill. And there you have the House of Representatives, and they also have the Senate. So they're in session, right? It says, yeah, I'm watching C-SPAN, right? And it says, yeah, the United States is in session. Now, that must be clarified, because the mass of the people, millions of people, because they've been indoctrinated with the false history, you already know what they're going to do. You already know what their thinking is, that the seat that they're sitting in is also United States. That's not the case. So while you watch the C-SPAN, they're sitting in seats. Europeans, you have a few, now more they were classified as black, Negro colored. They're sitting in a seat. They have their own office, and we think that the office is United States. That's the problem by saying United States without clarification. We must talk the true history. We must put our people back in its place. On the book cover, I had the picture of the Moorish landmass, the central part of North America, what they falsely call the United States, where they say that's the United States map. And superimposed over that landmass, what the world falsely knows, they call the United States because of European indoctrination, I have the Moorish flag, which is a red field with a 5-pointed green star. On the upper left corner of the landmass, I have the Moorish fez. On the upper right corner, I have the Great Seal on the back of the 1 note, what people falsely call the $1 bill. You have that pyramid. You take out that pyramid, take out that 1 note, what people falsely, because of European indoctrination, called the $1 bill, you'll see that pyramid, that Great Seal pyramid. I have that upper right-hand corner. Surrounding the landmass in an arc, I have 6 nationalized Moors wearing turban and fezzes. And Rasaraya, Zen, Rakaya, Chedra, Tariq Bey, Hanifa Hill. So these are in arc. Below below the landmass, I have, from left to right, the Supreme Court building, the Moorish Supreme Court building, the Moorish Capitol building, and the Moorish Palace where the Trumps currently live. And below them, I have 4 European, three grand monarchs, 3 past grand monarchs, and 1 imperial potentate. The grand monarchs are that's the mystic order of the Bell Prophet of the Chanting Realm, established in Hamilton, New York in 1850. And on the fez of one of the grand monarchs, past grand monarchs, is Masonry. On another grand monarch is wearing a fez, Abdullah Bey. Another grand monarch is wearing a fez, Islam. The Shriner, the pure potentate, is wearing the fez, Morocco. And I have written above them, who are these imposters. So this picture, this book cover, puts us in our rightful place. We must constantly do this.
Now, with regard to our rightful place, there's some photographs in the book relative to the parade in Indianapolis.
Yes.
How has the acceptance been with you and engaging European sons when you speak how you're talking to us?
I haven't had I've had opportunity to speak to our brothers, sisters, or Masons and stars. I have not had the opportunity to speak to European Masons and stars.
No. Could we? Maybe you could speak on this. Could we expect that their response is going to be similar to the response that Brother Taj got when he wrote the rebuttal to the mate?
Yes. Yes.
If you, I'm not sure. People might not have heard that story. If you could talk about that a bit.
Now, because I have documentation in the book, I don't know. Let me rethink that.
All right.
Let me rethink that.
All right.
Let me rethink that because you gotta. See, we talk about the response. Let's talk about Taj's article.
Right.
Let's talk about Taj's article. That's my first visit. Taj did not have any documentation in the article. Here's an article, but there was no references mentioned in the article.
Right.
All right, so that's one. I have loads, as you see, you have to put your hand, loads of documentation, loads of books references in this article.
Right.
That makes a big difference, family. Trust me. Trust me, family. I have shut European co-workers up.
Yeah.
I have shut European co-workers up.
All right. Now with regard, so let's use them.
Let me finish this, Kujo.
Go ahead.
This audience needs to know how I'm able to shut European co-workers up. What I do, I present references. I'm not just brewing, y'all. I'm not just talking. I say, I do this. This is what I do. According to Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history, Ohio State University, the enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. I want y'all to follow me, y'all. Follow my pattern. According to Linda Colony, according to Robert Davis, according to Stanley Poole, according to Christine Woodard, and I named the colleges, named the universities. Europeans respect that. Because that's what they follow. If I wrote this book with no references, it would not be nearly as strong.
Right.
Trust me, it would not be nearly as strong. The reason I put on the back, I wrote the book, y'all, this makes a big difference. You gotta understand. Makes a big difference. So I'm rethinking that, Cujo, rethinking that. I don't think I would get the same response Todd got.
Right, right.
I'm telling you, and I'm saying why.
Based on providing reference points that they are gonna recognize.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Because if it without the references, it's just you know, somebody talking about something. But with the references, they really don't have a comeback.
No, they don't have a comeback. They
Right.
don't. They don't have a comeback. They really they respect these references.
Right.
They respect these universities. These Linda Colley was teaching since 1982. And she taught in Yale in the 80s. Now at Princeton University. She's recognized in her field. She's well acclaimed.
Yeah.
Robert Davis, James Broadman. These Europeans, Christine Woodard at Durham University in England. These scholars are well acclaimed in their field. So they're not gonna say, oh no, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm using the scholars. It makes a big difference. I think, you know what, prove to this to do. I think I have a copy of the article that Todd wrote. You need to see the article Todd wrote.
Right.
That's the key. First, see, you need to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the response for you. I found the response. I'm going to copy the response and the article Todd wrote.
Right.
There's no references.
Right. No.
It's a good article, but you got to have references.
Right.
That's, you know, got to have references.
Now, just to let me retract then. So, how has the response been by the Prince Hall Masons when?
Very good, bro. Very good. I'm going to. Great question. I'm going to St. Louis. They're working it out right now. I haven't had Masonic contact in St. Louis for the past 2.5 years, and he has the book. And he shared it with the Grand Master, Virtual Master, and the PAC and the Secretary. And so he now has help, and they're working. They're now talking to other. These are the Prince Hall, the Missouri Prince Hall Grand Lodge is in St. Louis. The Grand Lodge building. There's about 20. There's 20 lodges that have their meetings there. Now I won't be speaking to one lodge. I will speak to lodges. When I go to St. Louis, I was speaking to lodges, not one lodge.
Right.
I was speaking to chapters, not one chapter. So that's the location it's right now.
Now,
Right?
does
So they're slow walking it, and the response is building up.
right. Now with you presenting this information to them, is that supposed to not only transform them mentally but also transform them in their position? Because I know individuals who are in the lodge and their perspective is that Europeans brought it and stuff like that. Like Europeans put them on to be Masons. But based on... No, go ahead.
The question, Cujo, that I will pose to you is, why do they have that perspective? Yes, our brothers and sisters had that perspective. Why? Why do they think that Mason started in 1717 in England? Why they had that perspective? Because they've been indoctrinated. They have not had any other sources. This does, Cujo, by showing them the word "divan" and treaties in 1662 and treaties in 1664. By showing China, when I go to this, come on, y'all, When I go to Kansas City for the Imperial Grand Session, that's the brothers. The Prince Hall Imperial Grand Session of Shriners will be in Kansas City in August. When I show them, when I have my display board and everything, the treaties, excerpt of the article with the word Iran in the treaty, I'm going to get their attention.
Right.
They think that the origin of the Imperial Iran is with the shrine. I'm going to prove to them through documentary evidence that it's not. I'm going to prove to them through documentary. It makes a big difference, family. It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference in my saying it. If I can show it, I'll get their attention. The reason I'm getting their attention is because I'm showing it. Sources make a big difference, family.
Right. Same thing you're saying about making sure that when we engage people with this information, regardless of the level of it, that we have sources to show them, opposed to just talking from knowledge.
Exactly. And I'm not just saying, well, the Imperial Iran comes from Moors. That's it. I'm just talking.
Right.
I'm talking. I could be more effective. Not that I wouldn't be effective. I could be more effective by showing sources. By doing either PowerPoint or while I'm there, what I can do, this is what I will do. I can have on a poster size excerpts of maybe two or three different treaties with the word Iran highlighted in color.
Right.
You know? Right? So they can actually see what that does. They'll get their attention.
Yeah. Because that's something that's
see the rock of England.
right.
And see the word Iran highlighted. That makes a big difference.
Now what about the ones that you visited in the past? Have they reached out to you after the fact with
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Robert Newby, who was at the time when I spoke at his lodge, the King Solomon Grand Lodge in D.C. He was the Grand Master. He's now past the Master. What he did was, when I put out the Moroccan Star newspaper, he mailed that to high-ranking Masons all over the country.
Wow.
That he knows. Fitch, who is the Grand Master of the Prince Hall in North Carolina, he heard about me because of that. So my name is being bandied around because of the Moroccan Star, my being on set of the TV. Now more than Macy's that come as out now. So producing literature with verified sources will make a big difference. What it does, what literature does, gives you respectability.
Right. No, because my head's tingling right now because I'm having this thought about these Prince Hall Masons realizing the truth about their connection to the nationality and birthrights and their disconnection from the shrine. Like what, from your opinion, what should this do to those individuals of sound mind that are brothers and sisters that are in the Lodge Eastern Stars or whatever, and they're coming into this information?
All right. I'm not. When I present this information, Cujo, I am not going to show them how they're disconnected from the shrine. I'm going to show them what I'm showing through documentary evidence, Cujo, is that the shrine, that the structure of the shrine came from them.
Right.
So that's a connection.
Right.
So they're already connected to that, but they're thinking that it originated with the shrine. So I wouldn't tell them to leave. What I'm doing, I'm not advocating for them to leave anything.
Right. It's more a reclamation for them.
Right. What I'm showing them is Moorish origin.
Yes.
They're already connected to it.
Right.
And I text Sekra today. But I text Sekra, I said that our brothers and sisters who are Masonry the Stars are already, our brothers and sisters who are Masonry the Stars are already functioning Great Seal. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're already functioning Great Seal.
Wow.
I'm talking about the structure. Hear me out.
Right.
The structure they're in right now is Great Seal. What they don't know is its Moorish origin.
Right.
All I have to do, family, is teach them this Moorish origin. They're already aligned structurally.
Right.
They think it belongs to the Europeans. That's all. If you show them the origin, that's what Northern Masonry does. They show them the Moorish origin of what they already have.
Wow.
I ain't advocating them to leave jack crap.
Right. Very, very
I'm
interesting.
teaching the origin of what they have, the Moorish origin of what they already have is functioning.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know the Moorish. They think it's the shrine. They think it belongs to the Europeans. You know, England. Yeah, England. They ain't saying Moorish. Once they start saying Moorish, it's gonna go for the Europeans.
Right. Right.
Once they
Now,
stop saying England,
now
and
what?
start saying Moorish, it's going for the Europeans.
Now, what about this perspective as well? The concept that they got whatever they have from England, right? If Europeans who are in America actually disowned England, doesn't that mean that they don't really have that power here as far as being Masons is concerned?
All right, let me do this, Cujo, for the audience. It's important that I do this, Cujo. We're also connected to England, too. Let me explain.
Right.
All right, I don't want to... it's important that the audience knows the Moorish connection to Europe. Very important. I don't... There's a book. There's a 3-volume book. It is, y'all, The History of the Moorish Empire in Europe by S.P. Scott. The Constitution of all European governments. ALL. Once again, the Constitution of all European governments. The structure of all European governments comes from where? The Moors. So I want to show that connection. The kings, the dukes, the dames, the dukes, the duchesses, the counts, the barons are Moors. Jenny Rogers' book. It's another book they want to get. Okay, I want to get this provide sources.
So I put
We got the history of the
could you put the
history of the Moorish Empire.
could you put the first book out again and then that second book?
Yes, absolutely. The history of the Moorish Empire in Europe. Okay, by S.P. Scott. The history of the Moorish Empire in Europe by S.P. Scott, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. You go to Forgotten Books. Google Forgotten Books. Google the book. Forgotten Books. You can get all 3 volumes for 66 mil. Okay. Forgotten Books is a company that prints out-of-print books. They put rare books. They put this book. S.P. Scott wrote the volumes in 1890. They published it in 1890. It took him years to write it. Now, he didn't write it in 1890. Each book is thick. Now, he write the book. He write, trust me. You talking about life, that's a life's work.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we'll tell you another book. James Rogers' book. It's important to understand the Moorish connection to Europe. Too. That's, James Rogers' book, Nature Knows No Color Line. economies. J. Rogers showed, explained in chapter 6, about 50 simple coat of arms, crests, and coat of arms with dark olive Moors. He also has over 50 or so names that are derived from Moor, German, French, Italian form, Dutch form, Danish form, German form, French form. All right?
Yeah, I'm just going through those images right now as you're talking.
Now you have another book, David McRitchie, M-A-C-R-I-T-C-I-E, Ancient and Modern Britain, B-R-I-T-O-N, Ancient and Modern Britain, volumes 1 and 2. He shows through ethnography studies, ethnological studies, that the name Dublin, Ireland, etymologically, the name Dublin means dark. Douglas means dark. A famous Scottish clan. A huge Scottish clan, the Douglas clan. It means dark. The word Scotland, land of the darks. Translate Scotland, land of the darks. Dublin, land of the darks. So we want Europe out of the Renaissance. We brought Europe out of the Dark Ages. The Moors controlled Al-Andalusia, not only Al-Andalusia, other parts, southern France, Greece, Italy, Milan, Cordova, Castile, Toledo. So we had a library, 17 libraries in Cordova. Cordova is what's called modern day Spain, a huge city in modern day Spain. We had a library that housed 600,000 books. They built irrigation, bathhouses, street lights, paved street, agriculture, horticulture, philosophy, surgery treatises. We translated a lot of material from Egyptian or Metaneter to Arabic, Chinese to Arabic, from Greek to Arabic. And what our claim to fame is, Kojo, is that where in the pyramids you have hieroglyphs, but you can't take that to the world. You can't take what's on a hieroglyph, right, to the world, because it's on stone. But what you can take to the world are books. You can take books. You can spread books to the world. So our claim to fame is that we produce books in large volumes. We built 3 paper mills. We're talking about Europe now. We're talking about the most connection to Europe. All right, I said before, all European, what they call European Constitution, comes from Moore's Law.
Wow.
Wait a mother.
Islam.
Wait a mother.
All right, there was a couple there was some statements and some questions that I saw online today that I figured I'll just ask you since.
Another book, real quick.
Go ahead.
The Golden Age of the Moors, very important. The Golden Age of the Moors, edited by Ira Certimer. It's a compilation of 22 articles, and the back of the book is 40 pages. You got my bibliography is extensive? 40 pages of bibliography. 40 pages. Medical theses, we wrote 30 or so medical surgery theses. Poetry, philosophy, mathematics, architecture. And we
And since you brought up Golden Age of the Moor, I'm also going to put out there Othello's Children in the New World by Jose Pimienta Bey.
Jose Pimienta Bey.
Yeah.
Did his dissertation from his PhD from Temple University.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was a question online today. If you can just address this best you can. The individual said, I find this interesting that a Christian pastor said that the fez is a symbol to all Christians and Jews, meaning beware of the death. When somebody has it on, they represent a time in Fez, Morocco, when the Muslims slaughtered all Christians and Jews for not accepting Allah, the moon god, and when the blood rose from the bodies of the Muslims, the Muslims dipped their turbans and fezzes in the blood and put it on their head as a sign. Is that
that's not accurate.
All right? Please make it accurate.
All right, make it accurate. All right, because yes, we did that. We had wars with the Europeans, with Castile, with you're looking at in the 1000s, 1100s, the Crusade period. But to say that we slaughtered what we did in J.P. Scott's book, and also there's a bibliography, there's a YouTube. I'm going to just add this as support. A YouTube video, a documentary on YouTube by Bethany Hughes, a historian, and a European historian, Bethany Hughes. It's called When the Moors Ruled Europe. It's documented on YouTube. When the Moors Ruled Europe. The historian Bethany Hughes, she interviews several historians throughout the documentary. It aired on BBC and maybe about 15 years ago.
Right.
All right? And what she says is that, we had medical teachers, they actually show you medical books written in Arabic. So this slaughtering wholesale of Europeans, we educated Europeans. Wealthy Europeans, poor Europeans were able, throughout Europe, people flocked from all of Europe to Cordova. Cordova was the educational center of not just what they call modern-day Spain. Cordova was the educational center of all of Europe. And I said, 17 libraries in Cordova. One library housed over 600,000 books. We made education affordable even to poor Europeans.
You said 600,000?
600,000 books in one library in Cordova. That is inaccurate, bro.
For real.
Now, let me say this though, Pujo. Moulay Ismail, he was the Emperor of Morocco from 1667 to 1729. And he reigned for about 72 years. 1667 to 1729. Now, Moulay Ismail, I'm not going to say that we didn't kill no Europeans. But to say that that's all we did, to say that that's our claim, that that's our legacy, is a misrepresentation.
Right.
All right, so let me bring some balance to this. All right? Moulay Ismail, who reigned for 72 years as Emperor Morocco, he was called bloodthirsty. Now, he was ruthless. Now, all the caliphs and emperors were not ruthless like that. All right, so we don't want to take Moulay Ismail, who was ruthless, who cut European heads off, who slaughtered, yes, he did that, but all the caliphs and emirs were not like that. All right, so we'll bring some balance to this.
Right.
All right? So this wholesale of slaughtering, and that's all we Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I gave y'all sources to look at.
Right. Yeah. Point of having us have sources.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. And thank you for that answer.
Oh, yeah, you no problem, fam.
This was from quote unquote unconscious more. So black folk, you're gonna have to do some correcting in this one because they're talking.
Yeah, I know.
So black folk who claim to be Moorish Americans, if America will do this to Native Americans, what makes you believe that your fez, fake paperwork, and El Bay will create some leverage for you?
Alright, can I get 10 minutes, brother, to answer that?
Yeah, oh yeah, you got time. We got till 9, bro. We got till 9. You're okay.
Because I can't answer it.
Yeah, because I know the question's colored.
It's colored, so I can't, because they got those who are people unconscious are listening, so I got to,
Right.
I have to break down every word.
No doubt. You need me repeat it again? You need me repeat it again, or you're clear?
Yeah, for the audience, please, for the audience. Yes.
All right. So black folk who claim to be Moorish Americans, if America will do this to Native Americans, and do this meaning whatever they did, right? The negative stuff. What makes you believe, Moorish Americans, what makes you believe your fez, fake paperwork, and El Bay will create some leverage for you against these colonists who did whatever to the Native Americans?
I love the question, and I would like for you to text that question to me, Cujo.
All right.
We get a chance, just text it to me, because I want to. Even though the question's colored, I think it's a good question, and it gives us an opportunity to clarify things. That's why I like the question.
Right.
That's why I like the question. That's why I want you to text it to me, because that's something I can actually start a lecture with that question.
Well, actually, I'll email it to you since I have the back of the book right next to me with the email.
All right. Yeah, so email it to me.
Yeah.
Please.
All right. Well, you can go ahead, more.
All right. Let me. All right. Let's first qualify. Let's first explain America. All right. Now, because of European reconstructed history, European engineering, people, the general public, millions, both European and Asiatic, more classified as black, nigger, colored, Latino, Spanish, African American, in the United States Census Bureau, West African, West Indian, and bring the doctrine into believing that the name American applies to Europeans, that the name American is interchangeable with the generic term United States. You often hear people say, I'm an American. I'm a United States citizen. No, they're not interchangeable. All right, so an American is an original, a copper-colored native. All right, so an American is Aboriginal, Native, and indigenous to the land. Not a United States citizen. The name American has nothing to do with the term United States citizen. Now, the one who wrote the question thinks that. All right? Thinks that. They think it's interchangeable. America, United States. America, United States. Let me provide some more support, y'all. Now, if you were to go Google, I want y'all to Google, y'all, the listeners. I want you to Google any seal, any United States seal, what they call United States seal, United States Navy, the seal of United States Navy, seal of United States Marine Corps, seal of the United States Senate, seal of the United States House of Representatives, any seal, all right, seal with the United States Consulate. What you will not see, that as a surrounding the seal, you will not see American Senate. You will see United States Senate. You will not see American Navy. You will see United States Navy. You will not see American Marine Corps. You will see United States Marine Corps. You will not see United States. And if you were to Google, if you were to see any, now Cujo, to verify this, there is a United States consulate in Canada.
Right.
There is a United States embassy in Canada. Cujo, tell the audience, the sign that's on the outside of the embassy and consulate, the sign, and the sign that either the sign or written on the building, What is written on the building? What is written on the building?
United States Embassy.
You sure it doesn't say? You sure it doesn't read American Embassy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right. So I have to present this to people that can see this. All right. They only say it publicly, but not officially. I'm showing them that they don't use the name American as in American Senate, as in American consulate, as an American embassy, as an American Navy. They don't use it like that officially. They only say it in public addresses. There's an organization American State. This is very personal. I need time. There is an organization called the Organization of American States, OAS. The member states, the Organization of the American States, the member states of the Organization of the American States. You want to see what? Guam? You want to see St. Thomas, St. Vincent, St. Kitts and Nevis, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Commonwealth of Dominica, El Salvador, Colombia, Argentina, Belize, Bolivia, Guyana, Grenada, Suriname. You're not going to see as members of the Organization of American States. You're not going to see listed North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida. You're not going to see that. I'm giving a record. I'm giving solid references. This is why I beat Europeans over the head. Solid references. All right? So the name American does not mean United States. It's not interchangeable. I'm showing you, y'all, what y'all see every day. Plain sight. They don't use it officially. All right? Now, let's look at the term Native American. The term Native American is deceptive. It is fraudulent. Why? Because an American is native. What the European occupiers of Moorish land have done was creating the term Native American as an attempt to make a counter distinction with the name American. It's designed to steal our birthright. There's no need for the term Native American. In 1974, the United States occupying power enacted the Native American Act in 1974, thereby through legislation creating the term Native American through fraudulent legislation. That term Native American is designed to steal the birthright of the Moors. So our people thinking that brother or sister who wrote the question, all right, has fallen for it, quite logically speaking,
right.
He has, because through social engineering, thinking that those on reservations are Native Americans and Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, Don Jay, and, Al Gore,
Right.
All right, let's just clarify. So we got to clarify. All right? That's another point of clarification. Black. Black is our people are classified as black. Black is not a nationality. Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan, in 1996, in July of 1996, in Columbus, Ohio, Farrakhan gave a speech to over 10,000 people. He said this: black is used for inanimate objects. Negro sabato, black shoe. But when you speak about human being, you use another name, morenos. So in Spanish, negro is not used to identify people. Negro is used to describe an inanimate object. They use morenos to identify people, but they don't use negro to identify people. Farrakhan's clear on that.
But he calls people black though.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. In fact, after he gave that whole goddamn expose, he said, "Yeah, these are black people." After he did. He did that 20 years ago. 21 years ago. 20 and a half years ago. Yes, he did. All right? So, now let's go to the question. All right? Now, that brother or sister, our brother and sister who wrote the question, and I think it's a good question because it gives opportunity to clarify a point.
Right.
Let me say this. He or she are looking at the, because our land is currently under European occupation and millions, keep in mind, millions of our people are unconscious. Millions. The nationality issue, right? Because the reason why this movement, let me go here because I think this is the reason why this Moorish movement, which is 104 years old. This Moorish movement is 104 years old. And the reason why this Moorish movement is several reasons. But one of the main reasons that why this Moorish movement is not as far along as it should be based on the number of years that it's been in existence, 904 years, is that you have the Moorish Science Temple that has been infiltrated. The Moorish Science Temple is under control by outside forces. All right, the European occupiers control the Moorish Science Temple of America. So the Moorish Science Temple of America are not functioning the way Jawali set it up. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the grand body, has not been active on a government level. All right, with civics functioning from an issue of government.
Now, could you just elaborate on that a little bit as far as what do you mean by active on a governmental level?
All right. The chiefs that are in place to make law, the grand body, grand governors. When I say active on a level of issues of Moors who are jailed, they have not acted as going to see about them. They have not addressed the issue of our people being denationalized. They have not addressed the grand body, the grand governing body, has not addressed the occupying power called the United States. of the wholesale denationalization of our people. They have not put out a newspaper to educate our people in large numbers relative to their nationality birthright. They have not taught government structure, which is civics, the science of government. You know, relative to the rights, understand, you know, what nationality is. Those things have not been done. They have not developed school. That Drew Ali said every time we should have a school. Drew Ali put out a newspaper. What happened to the newspaper? So this brother or sister is observing the small activity. I mean, this activity should be on a large scale. This more activity of nationality, talk with take books and issues of diplomacy should be on a large scale. It's not. So the one who wrote the question doesn't see himself as a Moor. He thinks he's black. All right. In 1790, let me give some point of record. In 1790, 8 Moors, after purchasing their freedom, petitioned the South Carolina House of Representatives for a clarification of their legal status. They wanted to be assured that they were accused of a crime. The one who wrote the question, I want them to listen. They wanted to be assured that they were accused of a crime, that they would be charged under constitutional law as opposed to the Negro Act. That being the Constitution of South Carolina, which was both put into evidence. The Negro Act was read and received. The Court of General Session of South Carolina ruled that these former slaves were indeed Moors and would not be subject to the Negro Act. That's a case now. It's 1990. It's called the Sunday Free Moors. Sunday means various. So the issue of mortgages, let's get more specific here, with the grand governing body of the Moorish Science Temple, mortgages being fraud, they have not addressed that. The issue of our people paying tax, they have not addressed that issue. In fact, the Moorish, I've had heard some of the officers of Moorish Science Temple, my own ears now, say that Moors should have driver license. Now, we have occupying power now. They have not just the issue of occupation, issues of fraudulent mortgages, issues of taxation without representation, the issues of Moors, of our people's labels being taxed.
Mm-hmm.
Those in leadership position of the Moorish Science Temple teach that taxes on real wages, people's wages, is lawful. Those in the Moorish Science Temple, the leadership, teach that having a driver license is lawful, and not having one is unlawful. They teach in the Moorish Science Temple, operating a vehicle without a driver license from the European occupiers is a crime. That's what they teach.
Oh, and we'll just say some, just so we don't throw everybody under the bus.
Yes, some. Thank you. Say some. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Well, some will be accurate. Some is accurate. That's all. Right. I'll be good some, and I ain't got it. Some is accurate.
Right.
This is from my ears. This is what I've heard.
Yeah.
This ain't conjecture. It's not conjecture. This is what I've heard. Some. I'll say some. Yes. Thank you for that clarification. For that. So nobody can come at me and say what I'm saying. No, some have said that. I talk about what I've heard.
Right.
Some have some. They teach that. Some teach that. Yes.
Now let me throw this in there too, because you since we're talking about this, because some have said that there's a difference between a Moor and a Moorish American. because I've heard grand sheiks, grand governors, supreme grand sheiks, etc., saying that when you join the temple, you become Moorish American, but you're not a Moor, because there's a difference between a Moor and a Moorish American.
All right. Now let's, all right. So let me answer that. Let's talk. Let's go back to the brother. Let's go back to the question.
Right.
Because of indoctrination, European social engineering, you have some leadership in the Moor Science Temple are still under the thought, they have the false thoughts that American made United States citizen. So this is what they are conveying, the false idea that when you become a member of the Moorish Science Temple, right, you now become a United States citizen. You are a Moorish American, a Moor who's United. I'm not saying it's what they mean. I'm saying what I think they're projecting. That because of this United States in America, people think America means United States citizen. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm talking about what people think. Because of social engineering, that they've been indoctrinated to believe that the name American and the United States citizen are interchangeable. One the same, has the same origin, same jurisdiction, same meaning. That's so false. So I'm taking that and saying that those and some of the leadership in the Moor Science Temple are under that false concept that an American is a United States citizen. So if you become a member of the Moor Science Temple, you are now nationalized as a Moor, and you're also a United States citizen. That's because they think that American means United States citizen. So they're saying that a Moor and Moorish American are not the same. No. An American, the name American, is derived from the name Moroccan. It's actually being redundant by saying Moorish American. The name American, linguistically speaking, is derived from the name Moroccan. Barry Fell, professor emeritus. I'll give references again. I go again, give references. Barry Fell, professor of emeritus at Harvard University, states that the name American has a more ancient origin than the name American is not derived from the name America Vespucci. It has a more ancient origin. Meru, land across the M-E-R-I, land across the sea. In the Berber languages, the name Moor refers to land, not complexion. So by saying Moorish American is actually being redundant.
Now, when we say when we speak about the redundancy, Noble Drew Ali made reference in the 101 questionnaire that we're Moorish American because we're descendants of Moroccans born in America. So
he also said we need to study.
Right.
All right, so you have those people like myself, those people like you. That's a point to study.
Right. A reference
and
point.
If you study, you learn that the name American is derived from the name Moroccan.
Right.
All right? But some of those in the temple are not aware of that. Some of those in the temple, Moor Science Temple of America, some of the leadership in the Moor Science Temple, once again, are not aware of that point. They think that American is United States citizen. In fact, what I've heard, thank you for this, some of those in the Moorish Science Temple, when you have the Moorish flag, which is a red field with a 5-pointed green star in the center, and you have the Star Spangled Banner. They both have it all hanging off. what they'll do, they'll point to the Moorish flag, right? With the red field with the 500 star, yeah, Moorish. They'll point to the Star Spangled Banner, American. Yeah.
Right.
Moorish flag, 500 star, Moorish. Star Spangled Banner, American.
So the actual factual is all you need to do is have the red flag with the green star there.
No. Remember, let's go back to the Treaty Peace of Friendship.
Right.
You have both there. You would have both there.
But it's not. It's, yeah.
For those who are not aware,
Right.
the Treaty Peace of Friendship became the Imperial Majesty, Emperor Morocco, and the United States, signed by our Emperor Muhammad ibn Abdullah in June of 1786, put into effect, ratified in January 1787. That is the longest standing and unbroken treaty in the world. All right? So you want to have both there. But the false concept is that we're thinking that they think, because of social engineering, that the Star Spangled Banner is the American flag.
Right. When it's clearly the banner, so it can't be American flag.
It can't be a flag, one, and it can't be American. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
Right.
And then also too, some of those in the more scientific leadership will refer to Donald Trump as the American president. Now,
right.
I'm gonna show y'all that once again, the Organization of American States, member states, protect that, member states of the Organization of American States, all right, American president, the office does not exist. I want to show y'all, all right, that's the problem. Walk me down to y'all. The office does not exist. Why? There's no office. All right, there's no natural person who is president of El Salvador. At the same time, El Salvador, one. There's no one natural person who's president of El Salvador, Costa Rica, Cuba, Colombia, Argentina, Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago. That office doesn't exist. Each one of them has presidents. Each American state has her own president. There's no one office or one natural person that's president of the world.
Right.
Donald Trump is not the American president. The office doesn't exist. How'd I do?
Well, you did very good.
And I couldn't find that question. Now, that one question led to all this.
Right.
Because it's totally.
Well, that was the point.
Right, that's why I said it's good because it gives us opportunity to clarify things.
Right.
It's colored.
Right.
You can't answer it like the way he wrote it. Oh, no.
Most definite. Well, I'm holding up the book right now, so if you can let the family know how they can acquire the book, and if you have any closing remarks with regard to anything we spoke about or whatever else.
Man, I want to thank you for this opportunity, man, to share with the family. You know, anytime I get a chance, I love it, man. I love it.
Oh, Islam. Let me put this out there quick fast. I want to say Islam to Brother Mario L. Bey. Because he's the one that actually inspired me to make sure we do this, to make sure we plug this book, get the word out. You know what I mean? Because he had an interview with you, and I was watching that this morning.
Yes, you did.
And,
I was at Columbus, Ohio, to that sister, I'm a two-line brother, I died home.
Right.
And that was the day of my book signing.
All
and
right.
It was like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
When we did that. Like I was eating breakfast at the time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Had to get it in.
Most definitely.
The book is titled Moors and Masonry. And my website is MorrisCivilLetter.net. I'm in the process of having another website built, which is a one-pager called MorrisMoresandMasonry.org. So that's going to be about a month. That'll be up. And all right, let me get this plug. MorrisandMasonry.org will be an additional website. On MorrisandMasonry.org is where you can, where I'm a director to order the book and the PDF version. You'll be able to get the book in 5 minutes.
Right.
You'll order the book and say you'll be able to get the book in 5 minutes. PDF file. That will be on MorrisandMasonry.org. That's in the process of being, so I need about a month. All right, I have somebody who actually, Josh, who laid out Morris and Mason, is going to be working on that for me. You know, I talked to him, we texted today, and told him I need his help with that to get that going so we can have the PDF version available so people can have access to it throughout the world.
Right.
Have access to it in that 5-10 minutes throughout the world. All right, so it'll be the PDF version as well as the button to get the hard copy, the hard copy.
Right.
All right? That'll be MorrisandMasonry.org. That'll be about 3 weeks to a month. All right? Right now, to order the book, you have to go to my, there is no button on there because I was trying to get that already up so people can go to the site to get the book. In the meantime, you're going to go to my website, MorrisCivilLetter.net. That's MorrisCivilLetter.net. Once again, MorrisCivilLetter.net is one L. MorrisCivilLetter.net. Go to the video page of the website. At the bottom of the video page is a donate button. It says $50 for the book and $7 for mailing. Once again, you go to MorrisCivilLetter.net, the video page, click on the video page. At the bottom of the video page, you'll see the donate button. So until I get that site, MorrisandMasonry.org up, and you'll be able to get the PDF file. That's, like I said, about a month that'll be up. And I'll be directing people to that site.
And the cost of the book and
yes, $50 for the book and $7 for mailing.
So 57 total.
$50 for the book and $7 for mailing.
All right.
All right. I want to thank you, Kuzma, for giving me this opportunity to clarify some points, to share with the family.
And of course, we'll be uploading this to YouTube as well, so to get that word spread a little further.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, oh yeah, and one more thing, brother Bakari asked, if you could quickly deal with the Scottish Rite. I'm just looking for the question.
All right, Scottish Rite. That's the title that the Scottish Rites use. Sovereign Grand Commander. Got the 33rd. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Scottish Rite.
The Sovereign Grand Commander, the title.
Yeah, sorry, let me come again. If you could touch briefly on Scottish. Oh, they're definitely trying. We'll get him back on the line, unless his phone died.
Mailbox belonging to
Oh, there it is. Maybe we ran his battery out. Well, once again, MorrisCivilLetter.net. The book is 50 notes, $7 shipping. Yeah, more. It's all good. They're trying to stop the flow.
Okay.
So just to touch quickly on Scottish and York rites of Masonry, some points that people should consider with regard to researching that.
All right. Those are two houses. They're called two houses. They have the Scottish Rites Order and the York Rites Order. The Scottish Rites Order uses the title as the head the Sovereign Grand Commander. Now, Sovereign Grand Commander is actually a title that belongs to us. It is emblematic of the title Emperor. So they use the title Sovereign Grand Commander. Now, the Scottish Rites use the double-headed eagle. And that double-headed eagle represents the right and left hemisphere of the brain. And in the right hemisphere of the brain, you have your pineal gland sits in that right and left hemisphere of the brain. So that's in references to the signs. Now the number 33, the 33 have what's called the 33 degree. Now 33 degree deals with the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance, if you look at that sound, you have the science of sound and pineal gland resonance tied to the degree 33. So those who are in the order, yes, some of those who are in the order are not aware of the number 33 connected to sound and the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is the vibration of the frequency of the earth, which is at 7.83 frequency. So that's what the number 33 relates to. Now the York Rite, you have here the Scottish Rite, the York Rite. Now these orders are derived from Moore's law and Moore's history and culture. So our brothers and sisters who belong to some who are Scottish Rites and some are York Rite, they are under, because of social engineering, thinking that it originated with Scotland and England. And so this is where I was saying that once our brothers and sisters in large numbers are aware of the Moorish origin of it, it'll give them a whole different perspective. It will actually empower them.
Right.
Because you talk about sovereignty. We talk about true power, not feeling, emotional power. Actually, true political power.
Mm-hmm. Islam. Well, thank you again. Oh, and
You're welcome.
also with regard to the your site, is there any particular pages on your site that people should frequent with regard to,
Yes, I have. Thank you. I have an etymology vocabulary page. I have etymology lessons on there for prefix rules, suffix rules, how to build the word. All right. And the movie Killing the Bee, Dr. Laramie asked the killer where the big words come from. She said, with people with big brains. Well, big words come from little words. So I actually show that concept of using the number line. I show how one can build the word. All right? Construct, from construct to construction to reconstruction by adding the prefix re to construct to construction to constructionalism. All right. So those are ways in which you can build the word using the concept of the number line. The word can have as many as 2 prefixes and as many as 3 suffixes. That's in the etymology vocabulary page. I have etymology semantics page. I have a astronomy page. I have a photo gallery. In the photo gallery, I have pictures from the George Washington Masonic National Memorial Museum, pictures of the Mount Parade in the museum, pictures of Morse feathers in glass cases. I also have, the photo gallery has all the pictures that are on unexpected faces of ancient America by Alexander von Rudolph, and then he has pictures of statuettes, Stonehenge, figurines, masks, and with broad noses and thick lips, found in North America, Central America, and South America. We are the American. We are the American. An American, once again, is native and aboriginal to land. So therefore, there's no need for the term Native American. It is deceptive. It is deceptive. Those on the reservation are not Native Americans. You don't need to say the word Native American. That's deceptive. That's a deceptive, birthright stealing term. Why? Because an American is native.
Since we're here,
Once again, American doesn't mean United States which we have to constantly have to do.
Right. Since we're here, also, what about relative to Moors? Not saying Moors, but or Moors saying that they're Moors, but also trying to tie to tribes.
I'm not understanding. Say it again, Cujo.
Moorish Americans that take the position of they're Moors, and then they try to tie themselves to native tribes or Indian tribes or whatever. Like should Moors be tying themselves to the tribes that are said to be quote unquote native?
All right. What Moors should be doing is declaring their Moorish nationality and putting that on the record. If that's done, that's fine. And everything. What they're tying themselves to a tribe is really a minor point. The major point is that they put on the record their Moorish nationality as they are classified, as our people are classified by the millions as black, Negro colored, African American, and United States Census Bureau, which is a violation of the rights of the indigenous people, violation of the American Declaration of rights of indigenous people that was adopted by the Organization of American States in June of 2016, violation of the rights of the indigenous people, United Nations rights of indigenous people, violation of the rights of the United Nations rights of the child, the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of the Child reads Principle 3, that every child at birth shall have right to a name and nationality. Black is not a nationality. So what is the primary issue is that they have on record, public record, their Moorish nationality.
Islam.
That's the key. They can say they Cujo. They can say out their mouth, they can go and try this, try that. As long as they have on public record their Moorish nationality, that's straight.
And what would public record entail?
All right. As I told, great question. Love you, brother. When I was at Columbus, Ohio, when I said to Sister Amlatala, is that we have to get our people pushing towards her. She has children who are in school. The records, her children's records, school records, have the documents from the Office of Management and Budget, which is the Race and Ethnic Standards of Federal System, which is a federal statute, an unconstitutional federal statute called the Race and Ethnic Standards of Federal Statistics and Administrative Reporting, adopted by the Office of Management and Budget in 1977. She has been in her children's school record. They have a document where they check black off. Well, I said to her, is that we want that document removed from that record and put their Moorish document in the record.
Right.
Under the rights of indigenous people, under the United Nations, on the rights of the United Nations rights of indigenous people, the American Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, 1979, the International Year of the Child, 1979, United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, 1948, United Nations Human Rights Proclamation. All right? Remove that document and put that. Remove that document from the hospital and put your most paperwork. Remove that document from your job, personnel file, and put the most nationality. Paperwork. That's what I mean.
And then all.
Because what they have, Cujo, at hospitals, schools, jobs, at schools, at colleges, whatever school we go to, all right? Recreational centers, what they have us listed with those forms as just blacks, Negro, color, African American.
Right.
And those forms they're using because they get financed. They get about $25,000 for each child. They get financed. We have to become more active, Ujo.
Right.
We have to become more active. You're doing a great job, so I'm not directing this to you. So I'm not directing this to you at all. We, in larger numbers, have to become more active. This is why I'm reaching out, my brother, to Masonry stars. They're already organized.
And
I said Ra today, and I texted Ra.
yeah.
I said this that I wrote said Ra. They are already organized and great social structure. They're already organized and great social structure. They don't know their history. They don't know the Moorish connection. Once we teach them the Moorish connection, the great social structure is already there.
Right.
Show them what they already have. Don't say, stop doing that. No. The intelligent thing to do is to show them the Moorish connection that they already have.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's Europe. They think it's England.
Right.
That is my brother. That would be a tremendous.
Right.
Be a tremendous paradigm shift. Tremendous, earth-shattering paradigm shift.
And just to touch one more thing for people who people who are new to this information, we know that activity is in degrees based on the knowledge that you have. What would qualify activity to new or newly awakened Moors?
If we and you're right with that, Cujo, but my thing is this, Cujo. If we can get them to the point that they know that the Moors in large numbers, what that would do, Cujo, is change the way how they support the institution. They would bring their support to us.
Right.
They will bring their support. Meaning they don't all have to know what you know. But if they know that they're Moors, they now will be what? Bring their support, their finance, and support to us.
Catechism, right?
There you go.
Islam.
There you go.
Once again, we appreciate you for all you do. That's coming from everybody that's online, that's seeing this, as well from the Moors out here. Just like the rest that we uphold, you're one of the ones that, we're always going to be supporting. So again, thank you for this masterful piece that I didn't even finish reading yet. And, we'll definitely try to set this up again. Maybe for Moors and Masonry Part 2.
Yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to go too much in about the book, but those are good points. I'm glad you raised those questions. I'm glad you went to the email and asked certain questions. Those are good. The questions you asked were needed to be asked. I thank you for that.
All right.
I thank you for that. Those points of clarification have to be made.
No problem.
You got misrepresentation. You got issues have to be clear.
Right.
You're saying that the issues with particularly the brand. In fact, one brother asked me, where's my grand body? That was a question that was posed.
Yeah.
Because he brought a brother who was a member of Moorish Science Temple of America, right? And I said before, the Moorish Science Temple of America grand body has to step up.
Right.
They have to step up.
And
this is not the United States.
Right.
This is Morocco. This is not the United States government. This is the Moorish government. They have to step up in activity and knowledge.
So now
they have to step up.
So the lack of them stepping up, is that the same as when a people realize that their government's corrupt, it's time to abandon that government and set up your own?
Right. They did not set that up. that we should abandon the Moorish Science Temple.
Right.
Let me explain why.
Please do.
In my letter, let me say this first, Joe, then I'll explain why.
Yeah.
In my letter to the organization, for those who didn't know, I wrote a letter. I haven't sent it yet. It's in, I have an upcoming book called American ? Or United States Citizen ? The book is done. It hasn't been laid out yet. I have to send it to Sister Io, who's my layout design. She laid out the Illuminati book for me. I'm done on my part. I have to send it to her. The letter's done. The letter's going to be in the book. I'm also going to get copies. I'm going to get booklets. I'm going to have the letter to the Organization of American States and copy in a booklet, printed, laid out in a booklet, printed in the booklet form. And in the letter, I mentioned Drew Ali going to the Pan American Conference. So I tie myself to Drew Ali. So I don't want to put out there, Cujo, for our brothers and sisters to abandon the Moorish Science Temple.
Right.
But to set it right, to talk about it in its proper perspective, for how it should be run.
Right.
All right? It's not being run correctly.
Yeah, in its full capacity.
They're not representing our people.
Right.
They're not representing our people. I'm not saying our people. Let me qualify. All right, because they think our people are those who are already conscious. No. Our people also include, and we are those grand body members. Our people also include those who are denationalized. Our people don't just include nationalized Moors.
Right.
Our people include those who are currently classified as black, Negro, colored, Latino, Spanish, Puerto Indian, West Indian. All right? Our people include that. They don't just include those who are nationalized. And I'm only saying that because I've heard some, and you put away some. I've heard some over the years, leadership say, all right, but their focus is on nationalized Moors. In fact, back in the summer, Cujo, a brother called me. He said, man, talking about that their brothers who listen to me in college in the prison. And he asked me, he said, I'm calling, to reach out to you. I'd like to work with you. He says, I've been, going out there, I've been reaching out to Moors in the prison. I said, whoa, let me stop you, brother. Hold on, because you said you want to work with me. Now, I need to know what you mean by Moors. When you say you've been reaching out to Moors in the prison, I need to know what you mean by Moors. You say, oh yeah, those are nationalized. All right, brother, all right.
Right.
Let me tell you what I mean by Moors, brother. So you already told me what you mean by Moors. Let me tell you what I mean by Moors. If I'm reaching out, those to Moors in prison, that's Moors classified as black, Negro, colored, African American, Spanish, Latino, Puerto Rican, all right? So what you mean by Moors is those who are currently nationalized. I said, brother, now, you want to work together, all right? We can work together, but I'm talking about, that's who I reach out to.
Right.
I don't have this nationalized Moor only. I've never had that. I don't know what it means to think like that.
Right.
I've never thought like that. So I don't know what it means to think like that. I've never thought like that. Todd Civic Day did not teach me to think like that. I've never thought like that. When Todd and I sent lesson book number 1 and lesson book number 14 to the prisoners, I sent the more civil letter. The more civil letter started out, not as a website or newspaper, started as a newsletter in 1995. I going through, brothers and sisters, I got over 200 letters from Moors who were nationalized, Moors who were not nationalized. In fact, those who were nationalized, who received the newsletter, they started classes. Okay? I'll tell you, Cujo. See the power literature? I'm showing y'all, I'm demonstrating to y'all the power literature. I got over 200 letters from brothers in prison, Michigan area, Wisconsin, upstate Pennsylvania, right? When we put out the paper, the Outblocking Star in 2002, we sent papers to the prison, books. They wrote back stating that how they were using the literature to start classes. So what literature does, more than Masonry, what literature will do, it will give people an opportunity to start classes.
Right.
To write their own book. That's what it sets a legacy. That's why I had to get it out.
Right.
It's a legacy. I know from my own personal experience the power of literature. Nobody has to tell me nothing. No one has to convince me about the power of literature. I know from my own personal experience the power of literature, the effect that it can have. That's why I spend time writing.
Mm-hmm.
So we can reach you. I can reach more people. Like I said to you, I'm going to have it on ebook. Most ministries will get ebook because it's a PDF. The PDF file is the file that Josh laid out.
Yeah.
So he's going to put that, and it's already in a PDF file. And he puts it up, upload it on the website, and people can get it in 5-10 minutes.
Right. Islam.
All right? So I want to thank you, brother, for this opportunity.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to coming back again.
Most definite. And oh yeah, we're gonna work on that thing to get that box too. So just let me know. Keep me posted with the shipping thing, and we'll get that taken care of.
You know what I have to take? What I'm gonna do is just take 10 books and put it in the box, and then tell them can they weigh it.
Right.
And tell them where it's gonna go. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah, just text me the tax ID number.
All right.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
But they call what they put on my side for those because I don't speak in gibberish. I don't want
Yeah.
those who are calling, they call an address.
Yeah.
That's tax ID. That's for tax information.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, because they'll fall on the tax logs. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. All right.
Yeah, might as well explain it.
Let me explain it. When people call an address, does not denote a location, not your location. That's for tax purposes. Tax law. That does not have nothing to do with the location is this. Longitude, latitude, that's location. That's location. If you say, well, I'm located at 5829 South Broadwick Road. No, that's not a location. Your location, you go to your GPS. To get the location, let's talk factual. That's factual. To get to your location, you go to GPS, go to the website, and get your longitude, latitude line. And then you indicate to Cujo based on that'll be your location.
Right.
You have a document that's how they gain the jurisdiction because what? They're using tax identification information, all right? And they're telling us there's a location.
Right.
You have to use astronomy for location. That's location determined astronomically. That never changed. That never changed.
Islam to that. Oh yeah, and next week I'm supposed to be in Virginia next week. So I think Settenra's supposed to be there. Settenra's supposed to be there. So maybe you could just give him the 10 and then we could just do the donate button and do it that way.
All right, let me not do that. No,
Yeah.
I won't give him the 10.
Yeah, we'll probably just it'll probably be easier. Yeah, it'll probably be easier that way.
Now, you're not going to have any issues getting them back, right?
No, I shouldn't. I mean, you know, whatever. If I do have an issue, I think it'll be cheaper than doing it via U.S. Postal Service.
I'll give him a 10.
But yeah, we'll check. You can still check You can still check and see what it is, because you know if it ends up being if it ends up being equal to whatever duty might be, then it'll probably be easier just to do it that way.
All right, no problem.
All right. Well, thank you again, more. We'll be in touch.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Well, there you go. There you go. It's very interesting how time flies when you're having fun. Very, very interesting. Don't forget colored questions. Don't forget, no colored questions. Right? Think before you ask their questions. 9:30 p.m. For everybody who's in attendance, spread the word, get the word out. 9:30 p.m. Blog Talk Radio tonight. MHHS, Eyes Wide Open. Call in number 319-527-6751. 319-527-6751. Tonight, Blog Talk Radio. Tomorrow night, 7:30, Blog Talk Radio. Sunday, 1 p.m., we're going to be right here again for a class at the temple. And again, for people who got questions, Canaanland Guide, Canaanland Canaanland Guide at gmail.com. If you got questions, if you know people with questions, if somebody comes to you with questions, just send an email to Canaanland Guide and we'll deal with those questions. And don't forget, Watch My Prophecies, available right now. Don't forget, February 4th, we're going to be in Virginia at the House of Consciousness. That's next weekend. I don't know if they have internet there. If they do have internet there, you already know how we get down once we have internet. Don't forget, pick up your Moors and Masonry, right? Don't forget your Moors and Masonry. That's available. And don't forget, if you miss hip-hop music, the Wisdom of the Womb Canaanland Moors compilation album is out and available on willofalah.com. willofalah.com. You can get that there. Matter of fact, we'll just get a little something, close out with that. Wisdom of the Womb. Don't sleep on Canaanland Moors, because, you know, it's real. It's real out here. Alright? So, we'll just close out with our prayer. Thank you for everybody for being in attendance. People who sent questions that didn't get your questions answered, we'll deal with those on Sunday. And for people who are in Canaanland, don't forget, we're going to be at the Book Expo, the Melanin Book Expo on Saturday at the Jamaican Canadian Association. And for info, contact canaanlandguide@gmail.com. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Islam. And we're closing out with Wisdom of the Womb, Peace Freedom Disc. And the song that we're gonna close out with is Blood and Bones, because we're Moorish that deep.
From the ancestral ground.
I'm a gremlin, I'm a ghoul, I'm a monster. Tell me your dark secrets if you want stuff. On a moral incline, I won't haunt ya. I won't spill beans, no I won't say jack. Me and the movement, man, we go way back. This ain't your everyday old school playback. Old enough to know, homie don't play that. But she will, so let's be real. Some just wanna go and come back for a refill. All they wanna do is meet $1 million and make $1 million off $1 million, stack it to the ceiling, throw it in a truck. I peel off all leaf, no trash, light it up, invoke all smoke, no gas. And whose Blues Clues said hope don't last? I'm in the heart of Al-Marak, eating Japanese. My appetite's on overdrive, past the peas, but past the please. If you don't mind, I'd rather not opine over spirits that may or may not live inside a bovine to dance along a clothesline.
They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, all written down in stone. They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, in our blood and bones. They'll never leave us, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, all written down in stone. No, they'll never leave us, they will never go. The words of ancestors, in our blood and bones.
Out of stone, blood and bone, genetically bred for war, embedded deep in my chromosomes. Demons dash in fear, phoenixes raiding our homes. Warfield marshal instills martial law. Muslims chant martial law. Mau Mau blood in my veins. I'm still freeing the minds of those once shackled on their brains. Get the women and children to safety before I board the last train. Town ablaze, master never got the last laugh. Simple and plain. Naya Bingi's soul burns bright. As a human being, I'm entitled to my birthright. Oppressors have to perish. Snipers focus your sight. Like Malcolm in the window. For my people, I stand and fight. Simon Phoenix here is signing out. Good night. Going back underground, plane is just gonna take flight. High status supreme is what my name reads. Joint Chiefs of Staff, and I'm a Charlie breed. Charlie breed.
They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, all written down in stone. They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, in our blood and bones.
Yo, I be the light, bring sight to the door. Lord of Morocco, lightening the torch on the island of the turtle. I declare my nationality. Lord Lucifer, Kal-El. That is apocalypse now. What? Your show's over. Play Shakta. I'm an appropriate persona. Moorish American for the record. Spawn in Atlantis, some Exum, Northwest Gates. You hear me? Ain't no misspake, but a birthright. A day and night, Bey Ali should be studying. Noble Ali the prophet, or stay in deficit, indefinite. Circle seal, 7 deal, wavy store, spangle banner while I raise the real. Stand on your square, not a sphere or a pill, cause you might get tripped out of shape, needing pills for Bill. Cause you can't swim. Flows got gallons from my nation's not a challenge that I can't win. Call me cause I'm all in. Yeah, we fallin'.
Yo. They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, all written down in stone. They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, in our blood and bones. They'll never leave us, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, all written down in stone. No, they'll never leave us, they will never go. The words of ancestors, in our blood and bones.
Who them a step on from far east to west, man? Matriarch age, man, out we a conceal the weapon. Hold faith and get strong, them a on streets for the next one. We engrave the masters, them a lock into the next one. Up next for the takeover, angels and the ancestors, invoke them and the breaks over. Raise up and the thing local, talk up when you think sober. Put in for the dark days and the sun rays, it's vocal, my point to the vocal.
Blood and bone, lava brimstone. Still they could never get us down. We meant to be around, thanks and praises alone. This is a warrior sound, called from ancestral ground. And we will never hold back, it's just an old fact. I and I stay royal to the bone.
They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, all written down in stone. They will never leave us, no, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, in our blood and bones. They'll never leave us, they'll never go. The words of ancestors, all written down in stone. No, they'll never leave us, they will never go. The words of ancestors, in our blood and bones.
Ancestral rock. Ancestral rock. From the ancestral ground. From the ancestral ground.